Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Liam's Hobby Room. My name is Liam. This is my hobby room, and you're back with me on the Gunpla network, where we're going to be doing a review of the model kit that I took out of the box last time. Remember that? It's this one, the HGUC Geara Zulu Angelo Sauper's use from Unicorn Gundam. I knew that. I looked at the box last time, and I looked at the things inside of the box. But between then and now, I took the parts out of the box and I turned them into a model kit. So we're going to talk about that together. I was sent this kit from the Gunpla network by Lou of Canadian Gundam. You can use their discount code here to get a kit for yourself too if you want to do that. Just a few thoughts up top. The kit's really nice, goes together really well. A few seam lines to close, lots of mold lines, and you're going to be doing a lot of paint work on this kit. So if that's something you're not comfortable with, this might not be the right kit for you. It does come with a lot of stickers. So if a big sticker sheet full of little finicky stickers is kind of a turnoff for you, then you might want to give this one a pass. But if you'd like to paint it, or if you want to learn how to paint it, good news, it's not very difficult. It just takes a bit of practice, which is what we do on my channel, Liam's Hobby Room. So hop on over to Liam's Hobby Room and check that out. We build Gunpla from start to finish. We customize, modify, and do full custom paint jobs, and I tell you how to do all that stuff. Lots of tutorials on there as well, so you can check all that out. But for now, let's take a look at this kit, shall we? I think we shall. Okay, so before we take a closer look at the kit, I would be remiss if I did not again point out the absolutely monolithic sticker sheet that comes with this thing. As you can see, there's quite a few. All of them are very, very easy to paint, even the ones with the little filigree decals. Remember that word? There's that word again. Remember the word filigree? That's a fun word. So don't be too freaked out if you see a big sticker sheet like this, because it's really not hard to paint this stuff. It just takes some practice. All you have to do is, well, do it. You just have to practice and you'll get better. So yeah, don't worry about this. We'll just get rid of that. We don't need it. Now let's take a look at the kit. So we're gonna remove the accessories so it is easier to, the backpack just fell right off. So it's easier to, you know, do the thing I'm about to do. Articulation, is that what people want to see? You know me, I don't really care about articulation. It doesn't bother me if a kit is just a brick, but those of you that do like it, let's take a look at the accessories first. There are not that many accessories with this kit. There's a lot of plastic, but mostly it's just bits that are building the mobile suit and this rather large backpack and the shield here. So this shield has a little attachment point here that can swivel. It's got two different pegs. One of them is canted to the side, the other one is just straight, so you can put that on the arm in a variety of different ways to get different poses. Now, if you remember the Geara Doga or the, this is on another kit actually, I can't remember which one it is, the Zissa, it's on the Zissa. This has one point of articulation right here, and it attaches to these little pegs, and this thing falls off all of the time. So obviously I'm going to be gluing that in. It's also very hollow, which, you know, they molded some detail into the back, which is fine, but I'm going to be filling that up with some plastic art to make it just look a little beefier. So that is that. We'll put that off to the side. Oh yeah, we might as well look at the face of it. Just some molded detail on the top here, and then none on the bottom, which is great for decals, weathering, all that stuff. You can really go nuts with this shield to make it look pretty cool. Now the absolutely massive backpack and the cannon on the bottom here is really the star of the show. If you're getting this kit, this is usually the reason why people want to get this kit. It does come with the guards version as well, I believe, which is in the Geara Zulu, but in green. So if you are not a fan of the bright pink and purple, then, you know, that might be the one you're looking for. But otherwise, you can get this one and just paint it any color you want. So there are lots of seam lines on this backpack. I've closed most of them. Also lots of mold lines. I've closed all of those, or removed all of those, I should say. We're just going to take this cannon off, take a closer look at it. It's a few pieces. The barrels obviously would always have there's a seam line that would be going down the entire gun. Very easy to close with some cement, and then you've got a couple extra bits here. So you've got a couple handles. You can have the suit hold it with any of these handles. I find it's a bit awkward in hand, but it's, you know, once you get it in a pose, you really don't have to ever move it again. Now, I hope it is easy to see, but there is this little piece here above this pipe that's just molded in to the barrel, and that's just to keep the piece from breaking when it's, you know, in the box, but that can just be cut out and sanded down. The backpack has a few points of articulation besides the gun, which is on this little articulated arm here. Not a whole lot of movement on it, that's okay. You also have these fuel tanks here, which kind of move in and out and can spin. You have these little thrusters which move a little bit, but they're not supposed to, so you can just glue those in. You also have this pointed radar spike here, which can go up and down. Before we get into the actual suit itself, let's just go over some of the extra parts here. There's this little ammo belt piece which attaches into the gun on the back and then plugs right into the backpack, so this is just going to be painted in a different color, so I just removed it to do that later. We have these very small little cylindrical bits here which attach right into the knees, though this part here is going to be, I'm just going to be painting them separately, and thought it'd be easier to put them in later than mask them off and paint them separately, so that's what I'm doing. You get an extra manipulator that is a left holding hand, generic holding hand. There's nothing really to hold with it. It's pretty much impossible to get this thing to hold the beam cannon with both hands, so I just leave the open hand on there. You also get a pink stall helm without the commander's antenna slot, if you wanted to put that on there. And you get these two regular sleeves cuffs. Now the ones that have on the kit right now are the Angelo Sauper ones with the added filigree. These ones just have the basic amount of filigree from the guards type. So there are those. If you wanted to put those on, you definitely can. So now let's take a quick look at the kit before I get into articulation. There's just a few things I want to point out, and those things are namely mold lines and seam lines. There's a lot of mold lines on this kit. There's a whole bunch. Obviously, all you have to do is sand them, like down the centers of the joints here, the elbow joints, and the knee joints as well. So I just sanded those down. Let's see what else there is. There's some mold lines on the sides of pretty much every part, so you're just gonna have to do a lot of sanding. Now let's talk about seam lines. So one of the worst seam lines on this kit is the one that runs down the front of the leg, and that's on both legs, obviously. This runs through some molded detail, so you'll have to be very careful when you're closing that. Yeah, you just sand it down and then it's gone. Look at that, no seam line. And then on the back of the leg as well, there's one here. This one's not so bad, super easy to clean up, and since the surfaces are just completely smooth, just some judicial sanding will get rid of those. The other seam lines are on the top of the shoulders here, the pauldrons. They just go straight down the middle, and then once you sandwich them together, you can sand those off as well. There is another little seam line on this shoulder spike here. The middle spike is molded kind of in two pieces from the two halves here. And once you put it together, you're left with a little bit of a gap. So I closed that up with cement, popped some putty in there, sanded that down, and once I paint it, it will be like it was never there. Fancy, fun. All right, so with that said, let's get into articulation. The head looks up pretty far, that's kind of cool. Looks down about so. You can turn the head all the way around, though I wouldn't do that once you paint this kit. The torso goes all the way around. There's a little bit of an ab crunch. The arms go all the way around, spread out to about that far, and there's a bend that's just above 90 degrees. Arms swivel at the bicep and at the wrist, obviously. Shoulders move forward like so. Shoulder armor can move up and down. The additional shoulder armor is on a peg as well and a polycap, so it can move just like that. If you look under the head, there's a little switch so you can move the mono-eye track forward and backwards. Front skirts are molded together and move all the way up like so. Side skirts move out about that far. Legs go all the way up, and the legs move back only that far because the back skirt does not move. Over 90-degree knee bend, but not too far over 90 degrees. And the ankles are on a ball joint, there's no toe bend. So one thing I forgot to mention about this kit is there is a little hard point on the back here. You just pop this little cover off, and then you can plug in the weapon mount from the other Geara Zulu kits if you want, or you can just plug this up. So the final verdict on the kit is this is a really, really great basic high grade in assembly, but there's going to be a lot of post work that you're going to be needing to do, a lot of painting. It would look great with some weathering, some loose parts here and there, but you can fix that with glue. Lots of seam lines and mold lines, but again, you can fix that with cement and with some sandpaper. Lots of great detail and great articulation. It's not like over the top, but it can do pretty much any pose you would want the Geara Zulu to do, and it would look convincing and pretty good. So, oh yeah, I should also mention in the bottom here, there is a 3mm peg for an action base or any other kind of 3mm stand you have kicking around that you can use. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I've been Liam. This has been my hobby room. It's been an absolute blast. Please subscribe to the Gunpla Network for lots of awesome Gunpla content. And if you want to learn how to build and paint your Gunpla, check out Liam's hobby room. So until next time, hasta luego, and I'll see you next time on Liam's hobby room.